Coming up on Volusia Magazine, we explore the diverse Volusia County trail system, meet the first tenant in DeLand's Northwest Industrial Business Park, get generator safety tips, and go beyond the voting booth. Those stories and more next. Hello and welcome to Volusia Magazine. I'm Amber Osman. Voting is an American principle and an important pillar of our democracy. It provides the people an opportunity to voice their opinion and hold elected officials accountable. Our Volusia County Elections Department's responsibilities go beyond Election Day, providing administrative support and promoting public participation in the process.
Everyone that works at the office has the same mindset that people's votes are important. We do want to assure them their vote counts. When they come in and they cast their ballot and they vote, that's part of our democracy. We all take pride in knowing that we are taking part of the system and the results are coming out the way they should be.
Leading the elections team is Lisa Lewis, who's been with the department since 2006. However, her passion for everything election began at a young age.
I enjoy the elections process. I've always loved voting since I registered to vote. I love to go cast my ballot, and to be able to work in the elections department to help make that possible for everyone out in Volusia County was exciting. You're watching the excitement of people taking part in that process, from the candidates that come into the office, filing to run, qualifying to run. Then when the election results start coming in on election night,
Election night gets the headlines, but for the elections department, much of the heavy lifting happened months before people cast their vote.
It usually starts the first qualifying period, which is for the judicial and federal offices, which is back end of April, first part of May. So once that qualifying period hits, we're really in election mode because we're working towards the next qualifying period where the rest of the candidates qualify, and then we are in election mode. We're laying out the ballots, ordering the ballots, getting them in, getting them ready to mail, starting on early voting, and it's getting supplies packed and what they need out in the field. We try and prepare them for every situation that they may need something and have that for them.
And the they Ms. Lewis refers to are the poll workers.
Poll workers are truly a big major part of the backbone of an election process. They're the ones that see the public most on election day. I mean, they're there, they start at 6 a.m. and they don't finish until everything is finalized for the night. Sometimes it's 8:30 or 9 o'clock at night. That makes for a long day for them. But with the polls being open 7 a.m. to 7 p.m., they're one-on-one with the voters. We do depend on them. Before any election in even numbered year, we train anywhere between 800 and 1,200 poll workers. We have 100 polling locations that we have to staff. We tell each of them when we have them in training, you sometimes are their first foray into voting. It's a lot of people's first time they're coming in to vote, especially the deputy that's outside greeting the voters. They set the tone for how it's going to be when they come in to vote. Every poll worker is required to have about 3 hours training before every election. It's not before election season, it's before every election. So in between the primary and the general, we're training them again. It's, and we provide hands-on training so they know how it works. It's not just a surprise when they get there.
After casting your vote, rest assured, the Volusia County Elections Department have safeguards to ensure the elections are fair, open, honest, and transparent.
People are hearing all the time that there's cybersecurity attacks. We're doing everything in our power to prevent that from happening. We've got monitoring on our network that anytime something does come in, we get notification of it, we can take action on it. I come from the banking background. I treat them like money. As far as physical security with equipment and ballots, we have a two-person rule. It takes 2 people to get into the vaults. It takes 2 people to get into programming the election. So at no time is a ballot or a piece of equipment, especially when we're in election mode, ever alone with anyone. You know, and whenever you hear people talk about somebody could hack in, if for any reason that possibility might happen, we do have the ballots to recreate the election. We always have that paper backup that we can redo it, recount them, feed them back through the machine, and we have the election results.
Volusia.org is your online county government resource. View the County Council agenda and meeting calendar, as well as review past meeting minutes and archive video and audio. Save time and bypass the lines by going online to register your car or boat, pay a bill, and much more. Plus, you can use the site to discover activities, workshops, and ways to become involved with your community. Volusia.org is your portal to everything Volusia County. The first resident to join DeLand's Northwest Industrial Business Park officially opened its doors in September of 2018. The 150,000 square foot campus is expected to create 100 new local jobs. Kate Sarks here to tell us more.
DeVita Kidney Care celebrated the opening of a 150,000 square foot campus in DeLand in September 2018, and the community celebrated with them.
The City of DeLand looks forward to working with DeVita on mutually beneficial ways in the future, and we look forward to DeVita's continued growth and prosperity in the City of DeLand.
DeVita's $30 million investment benefits not only their current and future customers, but the local community as well. The most obvious local impact is in job growth. Prior to the expansion, DeVita's DeLand campus employed about 450 teammates. With the expansion, they expect to create 100 new local jobs, which pay above the median wage for the county.
One of the things that I love about this organization is people can start at an entry level here, and many of those people can become senior executives like myself. And so we pour a lot into our teammates and their experience and their growth. And I'm happy to have that happen in DeLand, in the state of Florida.
And that's exciting for local candidates, as DeVita was named one of the top 10 companies to work for in Volusia County by Best Companies Group in 2018.
We evaluate our teammates based on both behaviors and results. It's not one or the other. So we think of it as air and water. You don't ask someone whether they would like to have air or water, you need both. So we think of the behaviors, the way we live our core values, the way we treat people as being that air, and the water being our results, the way that we're living our mission and running a successful business.
In addition to teammates, DeVita aims to positively impact the community by giving back.
We believe in being a community first and a company second, and we want to take care of not just our teammates and our patients, but also our communities. So it's very important to us to reach out to our community, to have service projects where we're benefiting the community and various different ways that we can give back.
Thirdly, DeVita works to serve their over 200,000 dialysis patients in the U.S. In addition to processing labs, the new facility houses IT, billing and collections, accounting, people services, and a call center to support dialysis facilities throughout the country.
This is DeVita's fully automated laboratory, which on average will process 120,000 tubes daily.
Previously, team members had to relabel each tube received and walk it through the testing process. However, the new lab has streamlined the process from intake to testing to storage to disposal, allowing for a more efficient process and ultimately increased output.
We've kept a lot of our same testing technology that we had in the old lab. We've made a few upgrades along the way, but for the most part it's pretty stable testing technology so that we know our results are really, really solid and will be comparable over time. The automation is the new component, and it just makes us that much more efficient, more safe, and has better quality for our patients.
By the end of 2018, the DeLand facility will be the only location in the U.S. where DeVita sends blood testing for dialysis patients. But DeVita is prepared to continue to grow to serve more than just dialysis patients.
So we want to be a part of anything that DeVita does to invest outside of dialysis. If there's a laboratory services component, that we can be a part of that. We're also thinking about ways that we can reach out and provide the great care that we do to our dialysis patients from a lab perspective to other areas where patients need lab results to be well taken care of. So we have 10 years of capacity in the existing space, somewhere around there. And then when we grow beyond that, we can just knock down a wall, build out, and add 40% more space in the lab and incrementally more capacity to take care of patients.
Prior to the opening of the new campus, DeVita operated out of 5 smaller buildings in DeLand, as well as a location in Fort Lauderdale. While many factors went into selecting DeLand as a location for the new campus, partnerships with the City of DeLand, Volusia County Government, Enterprise Florida, Career Source Flagler Volusia, and Duke Energy made the project possible. DeVita's investment and commitment to DeLand further signals that Volusia County is open for business. For Volusia Magazine, I'm Kate Sark.
The Volusia County Council meets on the second floor of the Thomas C. Kelly Administration Center, located at 123 West Indiana Avenue in DeLand. Public participation begins at 9:30 a.m. and the meeting agenda starts at 10 a.m. A live video stream is available at volusia.org/audio, and agendas are posted at volusia.org/agenda. Future meeting dates are available online at volusia.org.
Nature lover, bike rider, stroller pusher, road racer. There's a Volusia County trail that can fit anyone's lifestyle. Volusia County Community Information Director Joanne Mackley explores the county's showcase trail system that keeps getting bigger and better.
Since adopting its first trails plan in 1999, Volusia County has become a leader in developing its trail system. There are 2 major systems, the St. Johns River to Sea Loop and the Coast to Coast Trail, which are continuous works in progress with new segments being completed almost every year. Tim Bailey, Volusia County's Director of Parks, Recreation, and Culture, says having an expansive trail system provides countless benefits to the entire community.
Health benefits are also a big player in trails. As trail miles increase, obesity rates decrease. So I was talking about the health benefits at one of our presentations with the state through community efforts here in Volusia County. And so someone actually came up to me after the meeting and said I was one of those folks. I was at an unhealthy weight. I was using medications to help me control my diabetes. He said I got on that trail that was built, I lost the weight, and today he was off of all of his type 2 diabetes medications.
Volusia County's miles of trails include showcase multi-use trails, nature trails, mountain bike trails, equestrian trails, and paddling trails. And while these trails allow people to enjoy wide paths and scenic vistas, research shows that there are significant economic benefits to communities with trails.
Economically, once the trails are developed, a lot of folks from outside Volusia County tend to want to visit our trails, especially once all the trails are connected. You have, in this case, 112 miles, approximately 112 miles of paved showcase trails that folks can traverse that'll be connected. So folks will come from all around the world to come and visit Volusia County trails via the St. Johns River to Sea Loop and the Coast to Coast.
And Bailey says when trails are developed, the value of properties within 800 feet of a trail tends to go up by about 5%. When finished, the St. Johns River to Sea Loop will stretch about 260 miles from St. Augustine through Volusia County, through North Brevard County, and back to St. Augustine. The Coast to Coast Trail will cover about 250 miles from Tampa to Titusville and go through the southern portion of Volusia County. All of the information on the county's extensive trails system and points of interest around the trails is available from your smartphone through the Volusia County Parks and Trails app.
I would encourage anyone that's interested in just venturing out in their community and knowing a little more about Volusia County that they would benefit by downloading that app and identifying all the trails that they have access to in Volusia County.
For Volusia Here and Now, I'm Joanne Magley.
The Henry A. DeLand House is a museum decorated completely in period style. The home was built in 1886. Henry DeLand actually came to DeLand, Florida in 1876 when it was known as Persimmon Hollow. His work here, his land acquisition, his contributions to the community in the form of education and churches and land actually made him so popular with the locals they named the city after him. Henry DeLand founded an education facility here in DeLand that was called DeLand Academy. His friend, John Stetson, had come down from New York and begun to acquire land, and Stetson became the major benefactor. It was eventually renamed Stetson University. When Henry DeLand came here, there was nothing but tall pine trees, and eventually it evolved into a developed community largely because Henry DeLand made it so. He was the one who believed that DeLand, Florida could be the Athens of Florida.
Nearly 1 out of every 3 Floridians use an on-site sewage treatment and disposal system. And it's the job of the health department to have these septic systems properly designed and constructed. Dr. Holly Smith has more in Community Health Matters.
We are the permitting authority for the Florida Department of Health through Florida Administrative Code 64E6. So we are the regulating entity of the on-site sewage program.
That's Laura Kramer. She oversees the on-site sewage program for the Florida Department of Health in Volusia County. That is a big job that keeps her and her staff busy. Septic systems are underground sewage treatment systems that dispose of wastewater. That's the stuff in the pipes that leave your house. Septic systems are found in areas without centralized sewer, and there are a lot of them around Volusia County.
In a nutshell, septic tank is a really simple concept. It's basically a concrete box. The pipe from your house brings solid and liquid waste into the box. The box separates it into solids and liquids, and then the liquids come out a hose on the other side into a drain field. In the system, it works off gravity.
That drain field is the end of the septic system.
It creates a void space to give the effluent time to perk down into the ground. So it's got an aerobic bacteria that acts on it, and then as it goes through the sand will remove the bacteria from the effluent, the water.
Septic systems are found in rural areas of the county and in cities. To install one of these systems, you need a permit. That's where the Department of Health comes in. The first step is to apply for a permit from the Department of Health. Staff will then visit the site and conduct a soil evaluation.
We bore 2 holes down to 72 inches. We determine the estimated wet season water table. We come back, and with that information, we generate a permit. From that, once you have the permit, you're able to install the system. Then we come back out and inspect to make sure the system was installed in compliance with the permit specifications.
This 2-step permitting process begins with the application and ends with the final inspection. There are a lot of things to look for in between.
The septic systems are regulated through the Florida Administrative Code 64E6. And when we permit septic systems, we're looking at protection factors in light of public health. So when we go out to do a soils evaluation at a property, we're assessing the property for on-site and off-site features such as wells, surface water, so that we obtain setbacks to protect that person's potable water or to keep the effluent from getting into surface water.
We're using the word effluent. That's a technical term for, well, dirty water that's discharged from the septic system. Potable wells are wells that provide drinkable water, and never the two should meet. The septic tank and the drain field must be located at least 75 feet from the well, and that's to ensure those 2 types of water do not mix. That's just one of the regulations the Department of Health staff look for.
Irrigation wells require to have a 50-foot setback. We have to have a 75-foot setback to surface water. We're looking at setbacks to building foundations and to property lines, so we keep them out front underneath the structures and we keep them on people's property.
A new septic system can last 15, as many as 20 years, but it has to be maintained. If not, you'll notice issues in your plumbing.
It starts out with the plumbing being sluggish. the drains don't drain as fast as they used to or should. Another indicator is when you start to hear gurgling in your toilets. There is a freeboard space inside the septic tank, and when the liquid level rises above the operating level, the oxygen or the air will backfeed through the system, and then it comes up through the toilets as a gurgling sound.
When the system no longer functions properly and a pump out isn't fixing it, you'll need to apply for a repair or likely a new system. Then the process starts all over again. First, the application for the permit, then the department conducts on-site soil sampling, the permit is issued, and then the department goes back to the site to ensure the system was installed properly. This permitting responsibility requires the Department of Health to work with septic contractors, plumbers, property owners, tenants, landlords, building departments, and zoning and compliance officers. Staff also work with sewer authorities because the department cannot issue a septic permit to a person who has access to sewer. There's a lot of coordination going on to follow the regulations that are established by the state.
We are protecting public health by enforcing these rules. It makes sure that systems are installed instead of dry wells, that people do not use straight pipes into the woods and dump their sewage on the ground. They are put in to keep the drain fields out of the water table.
About 1/3 of the homes here in Volusia County are on septic, the remainder are on city sewer. If you plan to abandon your septic tank and go to city sewer, think about this, that septic tank is going to be underground in your yard decaying. There is a safe way to abandon that septic, and the Florida Department of Health can help you do that. They'll give you some tips that will tell you how to keep you, your family, children, anyone who could be in your yard now or for years to come safe. Log on to our website at volusiahealth.com. For the Florida Department of Health right here in Volusia County, I'm Dr. Holly Smith.
Whoa! Why did you throw the trash out the window? Once. Don't you know how long it takes litter to decompose? A cigarette butt takes 1 to 5 years. A plastic bag, 10 to 20 years. A glass bottle, 1,000,000 years.
You know, you're right. We should start caring more about the environment. Let's stop litter now.
Keep Volusia County beautiful.
Put litter in its place. Drive it home.
The power can go out in your home for a myriad of reasons. For many residents, their ace in the hole to get the lights back on is a portable generator. Dennis Mudge has the details on how to safely operate your generator.
I'm Dennis Mudge with Solutions for Your Life, University of Florida IFA's extension for Volusia County. We're talking about tools today, but not tool time. We're talking about something else related to hurricane season. It's time again for hurricanes, and a lot of us think about what do we do during the hurricanes? Is a generator a good idea? Is this something the average person should have, or is it not? And you know, there's a lot of things to think about. It's not just really simple as you might think. These babies cost a little bit of money, and you have to weigh the value of your food in your freezer and those types of things. And there's also the safety factor. This is an important tool if you know how to use it. A lot of the farmers that I work with have one of these in their farm, and it's all hooked right into their facility and ready to go. But the rest of us, where do we keep it? Do we keep it in the garage? And then there's these factors that come out when you go to hook it up, because you don't hook this right up to your power, your main electrical box. That's not a very wise idea. You would need an electrician to be doing that. This is not something you hook up that way. And you're not going to run your entire house. In fact, you're probably not going to be able to run any air conditioner other than a little unit in a window. So you have to think about those things as well. Generators are good, but they have to be maintained. You have to make sure you put the right mixture in here when you're not using it, because you can't just leave it with regular gas in there. You'll have to buy a special mixture to put up and put in there for the times that there aren't hurricanes. And when you go to hook it, well, what about carbon monoxide? Every year we hear about the safety factors of people who die because they weren't careful about the fumes coming off these motors. Well, you have to be far enough from the house so the fumes don't go up into your attic or in your garage like here. No, it's got to be a safe distance. And then If you're too far off, guess what? You lose your power. You don't have as much power. You won't run as much. So you have to get one of these really good cords like this that comes with it, so you're not losing a lot of power. So here you are. Here's your problem. You're talking short distance, but safe distance. So you can't set it on your wooden deck. This gets hot when it runs. You can set your deck on fire. You can't leave it in your garage because of the fumes. And yet you can't put it out front because it's an expensive item. Somebody might steal it on you. So what are you going to do? Well, you may have to actually build a little structure away from the house where it's got a roof over it, because this can't set in the rain either. So all we're saying here is there's safety involved with the generator, and the University of Florida can help you with that, and Extension Service, but you have to be sure that you keep your family safe. If you want to be able to have extra power when the power goes off, well, okay, but boy, you better think it through. Let's take, for instance, now the average time off when the power goes is 3 days. Well, maybe it's not worth it having one of these. In the old days, it'd be a week or two, and that was a different matter. Certainly things that we have to think about when it comes to generators. Nice tool, and if you're using it for your work and your job, and it's got double uses, wow, that's great to have a generator, and then you've got it for both. But if you're not using it there, it may not be an expense your family wants to go for. A nice generator can be a problem if you don't know how to handle it, and you're not careful, and you're not keeping your family safe. We don't want to hear any more stories about people who are dying because of fumes or because of fire. Generator needs to be handled in a safe way, and you can get help on these types of things at the University of Florida Extension Service to help you with your generator so you can get the right kind of thought through, but you do need to think it through. We at the Extension Service will help you, and I hope you have thought this through before you go and buy a generator for this storm season. With Solutions for Your Life, I'm Dennis Smudge, the Director at the Extension Service.
Stay connected with the latest Volusia County news, events, and updates on our social media channels. Like and follow us on Facebook and Twitter. Catch up with previous stories on YouTube, or just head over to our website, volusia.org. That wraps up this edition of Volusia Magazine. Thank you for spending part of your day with us. If you have any questions about the show, you can feel free to give us a call at any of the numbers you see listed here, or you can log on to volusia.org and click on the News tab at the top of the screen to find us. And we hope you won't forget to listen to Volusia Today. That's Volusia County Government's weekly radio program. Volusia Today airs every Tuesday, Wednesday, and Sunday mornings on the local radio stations you see on your screen. For Volusia Magazine, I'm Amber Osmond. Have a wonderful evening.